GottaBeReel movie reviews with Thommi and Jules. And right now we're doing a classic review. This was a request from
Eric Fuller.
I want to say Brian so bad.
No, it's Eric Fuller. And he is one of our YouTube viewers, so thank you. And I'm telling you, must have telepathy, because I was just telling Jules I wanted to do Bustin' Loose. So thank you. Shout out to you for that. All right, so right now this is actually, if you have Stars, it's free on Stars. And it's funny because after I watched this, it queued up the one with him and Gene Wilder.
Crazy.
Yeah, Stir Crazy. So yeah, so it's free on Stars if you have it, rated R. So go ahead, Jules, tell us who's in Bustin' Loose, our classic movie.
All right, so Bustin' Loose came out in 1981. And I'm not going to list everybody that's in it because most of those children didn't continue acting. Like one of them I think did, but the rest did not. So I'm going to list Richard Pryor. And everybody I'm listing has passed away, unfortunately. He plays Joe Braxton. Cicely Tyson plays Vivian Perry. She just passed away last year in January.
Godmother, and she had a long and lucrative career.
She was 96.
Fantastic. You know, they said, because she was on How to Get Away with Murder. She was Annalise's mom. And they said people would be, you know, rehearsing, and she would still stay hours after, still, like, doing, like, at her age. And she still had it, but they said she would be putting in the most work.
Yep.
And she's
a consummate professional.
Yes, in the movies she's done, she has such range, and that is like our godmother. Okay.
Yeah. And Paul Mooney, he
a
also
young
passed
Paul
away
Mooney.
last
I
year.
forgot he was in there until I rewatched it. I'm like, hey, there's a young Paul Mooney. Him and Joe Braxton in here, who's Richard Pryor's character. They were kind of con men. Yeah. They were running cons all the time. So I'll go ahead and let her tell you
Except
what
for Marvin, Paul Mooney was like, he didn't have the stomach for it.
He dipped.
He dipped.
He dipped on his homies after they did some con stuff. That was kind of wrong, but
yeah. All right, so this movie is about an ex-con, that's Richard Pryor's character, who is forced to take some children from where they're at in Philadelphia to Seattle, Washington. So he has to fix a school bus is all beat up and stuff, and then drive the bus because his parole officer is the boyfriend of Cicely Tyson's character. And
he's kind of a shady dude, so that was kind of his punishment. Like, he didn't want to do it. First of all, he didn't want to let Vivian take these kids on the bus because he really didn't care about them. Right. You know what I mean? So when he's like, okay, look here. You're going to drive this bus?
Yeah.
Or you about to go to jail?
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, I'll drive the bus. Anyway.
Yeah, the foster center was closing and all the other kids were placed somewhere, but these last 8 kids who were the most problem kids, they didn't have anywhere to go. So
very at-risk kids, special ed. And what I liked about this movie, the fact that Cicely Tyson is so good, you could feel her caring about these children.
Yeah.
First of all, the kids are really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you had kids that were, you had one little girl who was forced into prostitution in Vietnam, and you have one little boy who's a pyromaniac. Yep. And the list goes on and on. People that do that kind of work have to absolutely have a passion for it. And the movie, you just felt that from her. Like, you know, they would get in trouble and she knew exactly what to do. You come here. You come here. It's okay. We're going to work through this. And she wouldn't let nobody treat them kids different either. Yeah. Even though they were showing off because that's, you know, that's who they are. But she protected them all the time. And you could feel that coming from her. And it was just so beautiful. And then there's a part in here. So just like with the toy, you know, there was there's a little bit of racial conflict that's brought up in here.
Yeah, with the KKK.
Yeah, but the thing is, with the KKK, though, they actually helped them. Their bus got stuck, and it's a really funny scene. That's one of the funniest scenes in there, because once they get the bus unstuck, they fall in all this mud and all their white and suits, and they're like, yeah, let's just not tell anybody about this, is what he tells his friends. But they actually helped him in here to do this.
It's like, overall, I like this movie. It's sweet and everything. Like you said, you could feel her sweetness through the screen, and you see that she's supposed to be smart. But I hate when they make smart people do stupid stuff. Like, at one point, and this is a classic movie, so we can say it, Richard Pryor is stealing money from these Ponzi scheme guys, right? And he gets the money, and she comes to where he's at, and he's like, look, it's $15,000. Take the money and go.
But set y'all up.
And he's like, I sold the bus to buy this outfit. I got us $15,000. She's still sticking around. You what? You sold the bus? You sold the bus? Instead of running.
Yeah, honey, take the money and go pay it and then worry about everything else later.
She keeps sticking around. So then, of course, they're going after them with guns and shooting at them and stuff. And at one point, instead of her still trying to take off, she decides I'm going to burn the money.
But there was a reason she was burning it, though. There was a reason for it.
Tell me the reason. Because she's like...
She was trying to help him out.
I know, but still. First of all, she put a big chunk of money in this vase before she started it on fire. Like a big chunk. And then she threw some more on top of it.
Oh.
Like she could have just threw a couple of bills in there and set it on fire and took off.
She was trying to help him, but here's the reason she didn't leave. Do you know at that point she already had feelings for him?
I know she had feelings
for him. And it got to the point where she said, okay, I got this money and I get it, but it's not worth your life. So she was trying to help him at that. She started, even though she was on his case all the time, she started getting feelings for him because she noticed that there were a couple of times with the kids. And one of the scenes with a little girl who had been forced into prostitution, there's a scene with her and Richard Pryor where she's trying to let him know, hey, I can do this for you. And he like comes down on her and he realizes, I can't talk to this. This is a child. I got to talk to her different. And that scene almost made me cry. You know, I'm not a crier, but it almost did because it was so touching. And she was sitting in the background listening to them talk, and she got all teary-eyed because he was high-strung and he hadn't been around kids or whatnot, but he kind of learned to on this ride. And then the kids started feeling him.
But she still can't explain away $15,000 in my opinion.
Well, first throw the whole thing in there.
She could, what?
I mean, I get it.
She could have burned like a few bills. You needed the money. She needed the money. Why would you burn the money? You never burn money. Okay.
But if it was to save his life to get away from them, she said it's not worth your life. I'm not going to place 15 grand.
She still had a little money in her pockets anyway, so she might as well have a nice chunk of money in her pockets.
She had to create a diversion and get them. I get why she did it.
I know what she's saying. She's like, here's your money, but she was burning it. So, I mean, of course, they're still going to try to come after them. It was just dumb to me. I wouldn't have burnt $15,000.
This is 1981. I wouldn't burn $100.
Even back then, I remember watching it as a small child, thinking, "What the heck are you doing, lady?"
I didn't think that.
I did. And then she's like trying to leave with the truck, talking about they're after us. They're after. No, they're not even really after you anymore. You just locked me in that room. Like it got stupid at that point, and that's close to the
movie's not stupid by any means. I mean, in any movie, you're going to see some characters.
I'm saying that part was stupid. It was towards the end, though. It was stupid.
I think this is a really good classic. I mean, we got people in here, like we said, who have all passed away right now. I like the fact that the kids were either at risk or special ed. I like the way she handled them, and the kids did a really good job. There were some scenes even with the pyromaniac that was really touching because he hurt his family and unintentionally. Special needs, sorry. Where he ended up hurting his family, setting a fire. And at the point where he actually admits, it was my fault. I was like, oh my God, I almost cried because he started tearing up. And I'm like, oh my God, this poor little boy. And people that, pyromaniacs like that, it's not something they intentionally do. It's an obsession for them. And it was really sad. But she did so great with these kids. And it was just very touching for me. And I liked it. And then towards the end, once they figure out here's what we're going to do, because they got some people that came in and said, hey, you know what? You're doing a good thing for all these kids, and they're from all different cultures and they all love each other. They don't want to go back because people are mean to them. The teachers are mean. The kids don't like them because they're special needs and whatnot. And they're just like, they love her to death. They already love her to death.
Yeah.
They start to like Richard Pryor's character as well. And then somebody comes in and says, you know what? You're doing something good. We're going to help you out. So you get that there, and then the last part, her boyfriend, he's kind of a jerk.
The parole officer, yeah.
He's an arrogant little prick. He redeemed himself, and
I let you too in real life.
He was a prick in this movie. Okay, in the end, and I don't know if you've seen this yet, but I'll let you have that bit. He kind of redeems himself.
Yeah, but in real life, that would not happen.
We're talking about a movie, Jules. Just like Turning Red was just a fantasy. This is just a movie. We're not talking about real life. In that movie, he did a good thing, and I didn't hate him as much at the end.
Yeah.
And it was up to the parole officer to say, you know what, maybe this was my mistake. And he could have, whatever,
no,
however it happens.
Would have to say.
But he made the choice to let him stay there. He made however it works. You'll see at the end, and you can see he kind of don't want to do it because he's a jerk. But then he realizes,
and that was his girlfriend, and now he's seen his girlfriend.
And his girlfriend's getting taken. So because he just saw he was a jerk. I mean, he didn't even want her to go. He tried to tell Richard Pryor, "Hey, tell her this bus ain't going to work, and you can't do it." That was wrong. Dude, she's got 8 children here. She's trying to help, and you're just he's a jerk. So I'm glad his woman got stolen. And I think at some point when he heard the kids, because at the end they were all crying, "Miss, please don't take us back. We hate it there." I think a little bit of human came out of him and kind of let him see, this relationship probably ain't for you, bro, because you're ignorant, you're a jerk. And she's a really good woman, and she's doing some good things, but he redeemed himself a little bit, so I don't hate him as much. So that is the movie. If you've seen Even the Toy, that's one of my favorite Richard Pryor movies. Also, maybe I think one day we might do JoJo Dancer. That was a pretty good, more serious.
That's one of my mom's
Stir Crazy, I did like that with him and Gene Wilder.
So I do know a little bit about like a couple of the kids, two of the kids. So Jimmy Hughes, he plays the child that's blind. He's blind in real life. He had a hereditary glaucoma issue, and his mom has it, his sister has it, his daughter has it. Since the last thing I found on him was in 2016, and he's a teacher, and he's doing really well. He's an accomplished teacher.
I could tell he was really blind because at one point his glasses came off, and you can see that his eye, yeah. But he did a great job. I would love to see him in more good things.
Great actor.
Great, yes he did.
And then Tammy Luchow, she's a motivational speaker and a writer, and I think she might have acted in a couple more things. But yeah, that's what she's doing right now. The girl that's very vocal, like the little girl. We don't want to go back. Yeah.
That she had to. Sometimes she had the teddy bear, but then the one little girl had a teddy bear named Dakota.
This is the little white girl with the pigtails.
Okay, yeah. And Dakota, that's another funny thing in here. There's a little girl, a little chunky girl, and it's her bear, and this is her comfort. Dakota got to pee. She's telling the bear got to pee, but this thing is her comfort. It's part of who she is. So it's funny seeing her bamming on the bus because he's sleeping on the bus. Dakota got to pee. He's like, tell Dakota to go pee in the woods over there. Yeah. But that's it to that little girl. That is her like a friend, and that's what it is with all these kids. They all have something.
I didn't finish telling about Tammy.
Luchow. Okay.
Yeah, you just ready to talk about Dakota.
I had to remember Dakota got to pee. That's one of the famous lines from that movie that we love. Okay, now go.
Do I get to talk?
Okay, go ahead, go.
Tammy is missing like 2 fingers and part of her leg. I'm gonna have to watch it again because
I
didn't see that either. Some toes on the other foot.
So it sounds like they did some good casting.
She's doing motivational speaking, and she works with like Special Olympics and things like that too.
So they actually did some casting in here with real kids who really had. See, it can be done. Even back then, it could be done.
And then here's my notes that I pulled straight from IMDb. I didn't write these. According to DVD Talk, the film sat around gathering dust until Stir Crazy came out in 1980 and made tons of cash and prompted the producers to reshoot sequences and release the film. The end result is a film that was produced before and after Pryor's suicide by fire attempt. You could see the physical difference during certain parts of the movie.
His face.
Oh, by the way, Richard Pryor was a writer on this movie. So actually,
producer, writer, and
producer, writer, and star.
That gets you money from all 3 of those places, by the way, in case you didn't know that.
According to BoxOfficeMojo.com, the picture is ranked in the top 20 movies at the American box office in the U.S. for the year of 1981, coming in at number 20. Okay. 6 years after this film was released, the movie spawned a short-lived television series, Bustin' Loose, 1987.
Never heard of that. Don't think I want to watch it. Didn't know there was a series.
I think I watched it.
You did?
Yeah.
Was Richard Pryor in it?
No.
Okay.
This was the second consecutive movie where Richard Pryor played a con or a criminal. Though in the other earlier film, Stir Crazy, where Pryor actually goes to jail with Gene Wilder, his character was innocent.
Very funny movie, by the way.
This movie was designated to create a more family-friendly image for Richard Pryor, who was well known for stand-up performances featuring adult topics.
And it did that.
Yep.
It did that.
So when Cicely Tyson was offered the role, she originally turned it down because she was no fan of Richard Pryor's regular use of profanity. Oh, yeah. Ironically, a feature of Tyson's character is putting a stop to it.
Oh, on a regular, she was like, you stop using that language. Yeah. It was several times you do not use that language, and it was pretty funny. Yeah. But yeah, she did that a couple times in there.
And lastly, the theme song of the movie, Just When I Needed You.
I thought it was Shaka Khan because I didn't look it up.
Was performed by Miss Roberta Flack and written by Mr. Luther Vandross.
All right. Didn't know that.
You can also distinguish his voice as a background singer in the song. You want to sing
hear
some
that?
You want to sing?
No, because my pipes, I got Whitney Mariah vocals, but right now they're a little charred. So next time around, I'll do a song for you, Jules. Since you're begging me to do it, as you guys can see. I'll try a song next time around.
I don't think I was begging.
Okay.
I don't think I was.
Okay. But that's one of the, when I hear that theme song, it takes me straight back to that movie. So it's it kind of ties up what the whole movie is about. When you were there, I needed you, and there's just so much love she has for these kids, and it's so beautiful. So that was Roberta Flack. Again, I thought it was Shaka Khan, but anyways. And then there's another song too that they play when the kids are happy. Na 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 na. I don't know who sang that one or whatnot, but those are the two songs. When I hear them, they take me back to that movie. And I love this. Is one of my favorite.
When do you
classics.
hear that other than in the movie? When do you hear those songs other than when you're watching that movie?
I don't know.
Yeah, see, I don't. They don't just play.
The Roberta Flack, I may have.
Okay.
But the na na na, I don't even know if that's necessarily a song. I don't recall any words to it. I just hear the na 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 na.
I haven't even heard the Roberta Flack one, like
really?
other than in the movie. I don't think.
No, I've heard it before, but yeah, because you know Roberta Flack was big back in the day.
Of course, I think I have her greatest hits.
And I didn't know Luther Vandross wrote it though. But yeah, okay. Well, there you have it, our classic Busting Loose. So again, if you have Stars, go ahead and pull it up. It's free to watch on Stars.
Yeah. And probably in other areas too. You probably just Google it or something. Yeah.
Well, I know it's free on Stars, but I think anywhere else I think I looked, I tried to see, and I think it was maybe like $2.99 or something like that. But anyways, take a look. You're going to see all of the legends in here. Richard Pryor, Cicely Tyson, a young Paul Mooney. Yeah. It's funny because, you know, Richard Pryor is funny. And some of his stand-up comic was pretty raw. But it makes sense what they said in here. She kept telling him to stop cussing all the time because she knew who he was. Everybody know who Richard Pryor was, a great comedian and whatnot, and did a lot of stories. But anyways, this is an enjoyable one. Yeah, go ahead and pull it up. There's no sex scenes or anything like that in here. I think will be okay for your younger.
I don't even know why it was rated R. For the time, I guess you could see that, especially with the little girl from Vietnam that was the sex.
Yeah, but she didn't completely disrobe or anything. But you know what? That will be something our mom would let us watch.
Right, today it would be like PG-13 just because of like the content, you know.
And things we know at this point, things kids know. Yeah,
because nothing happened. You don't see any nudity.
Oh no, he stopped it. Really, he stopped it good. And that's another thing. He told her, "These people that have done this to you are wrong." But that's all the little girl knew.
And maybe the language also.
Yeah, he cusses a lot. He cusses a lot. He called kids names sometimes, but then they pay him back because they play pranks on him, and they crack up laughing. So it's a fun movie, and it's okay to watch with your kids. Let them see too. Here are people that might be different from you. But you have to treat them different. People come from different backgrounds and different things affect them. And I think it feels like a family love story to me. That's the feel I get from it. And I really like this classic. So let us know. We want to thank you for tuning in to our review of Bustin' Loose. Don't forget, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. Like, subscribe, tell us what you'd like to see. We'll shout you out on the show. And also, if you want to make a donation to GottaBeReel with Thommi and Jules, right here, we have Cashapp. GottaBeReel. All right? Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.